Today we're going to learn a little bit about brainstorming and mind mapping. I'm going to teach you 3 different strategies. First, we're going to do one together on the board as a whole class. Then you guys are going to do a couple of different ones at your tables with your table mates. I'm going to teach you one in Google Docs, and the other one is on a program called SpiderScribe. Some of you guys may have heard of it, but it's kind of lots of fun and it's a great way of getting your ideas out of your head and down onto paper. Let's start with the board first.
Okay, so if we are looking at child rights, what kind of child rights do we have besides health care? Okay. Education. What else have we got? Okay, food and water. What else? Yeah. Okay, family. Got a right to family. Okay? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, right. Friends. That's right. You have right to friends. You have right to all these things. How about the right just to be a kid? These are all things that factor into human rights.
We're going to learn a little bit about a brainstorming and mind map tool that's right here on your computer. So we're going to use it for our current unit on human rights. So the first thing you do is you go to your Google Drive and you open up a blank Google Doc like the one I've got here. We're going to call it Children's Rights, because that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing you do is you need to get MindMeister on your computer. So you go to add-ons, and I've already got it here, so this is going to be it's going to be different. So you go to get add-ons, and then you search for MindMeister. So search MindMeister. And it's not going to show it properly because I've already got it on my computer. But you will find MindMeister, and then you just click add it, and it will add it to your computer. So I've already got it. So here's what you do. At your table groups, together, the 4 of you at your table, you're going to brainstorm what are all the different rights that you think children should have. So you start at the top. You click a line and then space, and then you type child rights. This has to be the first thing on your list, because then you're going to create a list about child rights. So then you and your group decide, what does that mean? So then you just hit return on your computer keyboard. And then just start listing rights. What do kids have the rights to? They have the rights to water. They have the right to food. They have the right to shelter. Perhaps they have a right to an education. Kids might have the right to be free from abuse. Kids might have the right to be safe. Kids might have the right to be free from, how about just the right to be a kid? Right to be a kid. Some might call that innocence. So let's see, what else? Let's just take what we have here, and let's go back up and look at water, because not just water, right? But clean water. So you tab down and then click over, and because we want the word free or clean water to be with water. So then you just put clean, and shelter, not just shelter, but adequate shelter. Remember, we talked about it in class. Shelter doesn't have to be a big mansion, but it just has to keep you out of the wind and the rain and the weather. Free from abuse. Let's break that down a little bit more too. Free from abuse means both physical and emotional, right? Okay, so now let's take this and let's turn it into a mind map, and this is going to be really awesome. You just highlight all these things, go up to add-ons. Now that you've got MindMeister on your computer, you click on MindMeister and you click insert a map, and then the computer will work. And then all of a sudden, it will put this mind map right here on your computer. See, isn't that cool? So you've got your children's rights here, and then food, education, safety, right to be a kid. And here where we put free from abuse, it breaks it down between physical and emotional. And then water is not just water, but it's clean water. So as you can see, if you had put like any number of things underneath water, it would map it out. It would spider it out after those. So it's a pretty cool tool. It's something that, as long as you share the document between each other at the table, then everybody can contribute to it. And if you don't like it, you can just take it off and start again. If you continue to add to the list, then it will continue to expand your mind map. It's a pretty cool tool, super easy to use. And then of course you can save this and in your Google Docs. And if you wanted to, you could even take that mind map and put it on your blog for your parents to see when they come for conferences. It's a pretty cool tool, and everybody should give it a try. Another cool tool for mind mapping, there's a ton of them out there, and since you guys like using your MacBooks all the time, we're going to use another one with your computer. I realize that some of you guys are more artistic as far as you want to do them by hand, and that's okay too. But this is a way that you can kind of be creative and use your computer. It's pretty easy. It's called spiderscribe.net, and to get there you just go ahead and search for spiderscribe.net and get onto it. You have to create an account, which I've already done. It's free. You can pay for an account, of course, and get rid of this advertisement that's on the side, but it really doesn't bother me, so I'm just going to stick with the free one. So after you've got it, you can see I've already kind of been messing around with some a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is click on New, and then click on Map. So I'm going to give my map a name, Child or Children's Rights, because that's what we're talking about right now in class. And my description is my mind map of children's rights. And this is going to help me when I get ready to do my project. I'm going to have all this stuff already thought out, and it's going to be very helpful. So then you click Create, and then it creates a brand new mind map. So there's a few things you need to know about here. Here's a text box, and that helps you to add text to anywhere on your map. You can add a file or something if you want to have something that I just click on and it takes me to a specific file. I can add images, pictures, that's pretty cool. I can add maps, and you guys know how I feel about maps. I love them, and we should use them as much as possible. In the case of children's rights, it would be interesting to add some maps when you're talking about specific rights abuses and show me where they're being abused throughout the world. And then, of course, there's the little event thing you can put on here as well. We're not going to use that this time. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a text box. So you click on the text here, you drag it where you want it, and I'm going to put it just up here in the top. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to title it Child Rights, okay? And then I'm going to add a few more text boxes. I'm going to add one over here, and I'm just going to start labeling rights. And you can do this. This can be a great brainstorming tool at your table with your friends. Everybody can add to it. So let's see. Children have the rights to food, right? And let's add another box. Children have the right to water. And children have the right to shelter. And children have the right to safety, right? To feel safe. That's a real big problem right now for many kids in the world. How about education? I'm going to put that one down here. Okay, so now I want to show that they're connected. They're not just these random things on my screen. So you go to the top up here, and right at the bottom there's this little plus sign. I'm going to pull it over here and show that that's connected, so it puts a little arrow. And I'm going to do that with all of my cool little boxes. Okay, so I've got shelter down here, and I've got safety. Now if I don't like this font, it's kind of an automatic font, I can change it over here, right? See, so I can change it to something else if I want. I don't really care. I can add some background color over here to make it more interesting. I can bold things, those kind of things. That's something I can do if I want to. Let's say I want to add an image. I can click on that and add it over here. I want to add it under here to shelter, right? So then I can upload an image from the internet. And you guys all know how to go into the library website for our school and go to the free image use applications that we have on the library website, and then you can just upload. You just click on upload an image, and get an image that maybe you think would be appropriate for shelter. And then of course you can connect them just like that. Pretty neat. And same thing with water. If you found a really neat image of maybe a water source, and you can add an image of that. Let's say you were brainstorming about your project. Somebody told me the other day they wanted to do child labor for their final project in the Ivory Coast. So you could click on map and you could drag it out here and you could import a map. And that would be really neat to do. Here it's showing right now a map of Venice. So I can choose a different map, type of location. Let's just do Jakarta, where we are right now, and tell it to go find Jakarta. Oh, look at that. There we are. So if this were my project and I wanted to do it about the Ivory Coast, I would have just typed in Ivory Coast and it would show a map of the Ivory Coast, and I can make that a little bit different, more of a far off. See, now we're looking not just at Jakarta, but pretty soon it's just going to be Indonesia. So you can change the way of the map that you want. It's a pretty neat tool. You guys will have a lot of fun playing around with this. There's a navigator over here that you can use for a number of different things. You can hide it, get it out of your way if you want to. But I want you guys to take a little time to play with it. Then, once you've got it, you can move your boxes around. You can do anything you want with this. You can add things. Let's say I want to say that children are safe from what? What are they safe from? Are they safe from war? Water. I want to say not just water, but I want to add down here clean water. So add another text box. I want people to know that that's what I mean. I don't mean just water. So I'm going to add that and make sure everybody understands that. Shelter. Perhaps I want to show that I need shelter in my town here of Indonesia, in Jakarta. Education. We want to note that everybody needs an education to the age of what? 17? Okay, and I want to make sure that that is a connected thing. So you guys can mess around with this a little bit. You can use MindMeister. You can use SpiderScribe. Some of you guys also used Lucidchart before, and it gives you some cool options as well. But the thing is, I want you to have some options so you can try some different things out and use what works for you. This is kind of an interesting creative option because you can add some cool pictures, you can add some background, you can add some color, you can do a lot of interesting stuff with this particular mind map. So give it a try and then let me know what you think about it, because we'll be using these a few times more this semester. So as you can see, mind mapping is a really great way of brainstorming. It's a great way of taking what's in your head and getting it down on paper. You can use it to sequence events that you're learning about. You can use it just to talk about an idea. You can also use it to compare and contrast two separate ideas. And you can even use it to show cause and effect. I think you'll find that it offers a little bit of creativity. It's something that not everybody's mind maps look like. They're all kind of different. And that's okay. It's okay if yours is different than mine, is different than someone else's, because it's just simply a great way to make your thinking and your thoughts visible here in the classroom.